a leader in town.
Sorry, that was me.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, that's okay. My relationship with the chamber has led to so many other opportunities and experiences that have helped me to meet other business owners in town. And, that's always been important for me, A, as a young person, B, as a woman, and C, because I feel like the more that people are connected in town as business owners, the more we can work together to build a thriving community. And I feel like a thriving community means that we're all thriving individually as well, which is why I believe, the gift card system does so much for us. I'm a big proponent of it, mainly because it gives back dividends of what we put into it, in terms of being a member of the chamber and how much money is brought in on the local level from the use of, the Northampton gift card program. It just seems like such an easy, it was easy for us to set up, easy for us to implement. And I believe it brings in people who might not otherwise come into our doors. I know there are people that can buy Roberto's gift cards straight out. But that tends to fall to people who have already been there and know us as a business. And the Northampton gift card being on that list gives Roberto's an opportunity to be presented to folks who are coming out of town or have been gifted something where they can really go anywhere and choose us and actually discover us and then hopefully come back. So that's a really exciting piece of that system for us. And also, and I've talked a lot about this when we had to close Sylvester's, we did a lot of interviews, but I'm a huge proponent of if the town is doing well, if other businesses are thriving, if storefronts are open and in business, it's good for all of us. When the local economy is not doing well, when people are choosing bigger stores like Target or Walmart or going to bigger chains like Texas Roadhouse, that's really hard for us who are trying to work together to stay alive. And I just feel like the gift card program itself just keeps money in that local economy. And maybe people don't always come to Roberto's to spend that money, but if they're spending it in downtown Northampton, that means they're bringing their family downtown. That means they're spending money downtown. And it's such a trickle down effect, which is such like a bad, I know we're moving away from using that terminology, but when downtown is thriving, people are looking to us to buy homes, to, settle, down with their families, to be here. And I just think that the chamber plays such an important role in helping businesses, have the resources and do the things they need to do to give back to that community and to keep the community thriving. So that is why I'm here this morning. And I'm excited to meet you all and to hear about what you're doing for business and to talk about the questions you have around gift cards and what the chamber does and all of that fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jillian.
Yeah.
So I have a brief presentation about the work of the chamber. I promise it should take no longer than 20 minutes. So Jillian, Jen, Isaac, Kelly, keep me honest. I also want to say that I'm working from home this morning, so I'm on one screen. And what that means is when I start the show and share my screen, I likely will not be able to see you. So if you have a question as I go through, say something, because I'm not ignoring you. It's just like a technology thing. I can't, for whatever reason, get both things on my screen at the same time. So I am.
Yes, you're freezing a bit, Jess.
Oh no.
In and out just a little.
Oh dear.
And while you may be doing some adjustments on your end, Isaac and Kelly and Jen, why don't you just do a quick introduction of yourself just so that we all know who's here. I'm Vince Jackson, by the way, Executive Director at the Chamber. Jen, why don't you go next?
Sure. My name is Jennifer Ewers. I'm an insurance broker at Fink and Paris Insurance here in Florence. I'm also on the Chamber Board of Directors, and I co-chaired last year's membership drive, on the Connect campaign. So I've been involved heavily in the chamber. I think it's a terrific uniter. I have met so many of our clients through the chamber. I love the gift card. It's the perfect gift. Most recently, when my son won a Northampton Chamber gift card, he picked out cheese pizza and chocolate cake at Roberto's. So that's me.
I'm Isaac Weiner. I'm Dan McColgan here. We're the owners of Familiar's Coffee and Tea over on Strong Avenue. And we have had a lot of requests for the gift card and just not sure how to implement it into our system since it doesn't integrate with our system totally perfectly. So trying to figure out exactly what that looks like and how all of that goes. But I'm excited to be here and get some more information because I do agree with you, Jillian, about what's good for the town is good for everyone, and bringing more people in. That's something that we've always really seen, especially coming off of something like Summer on Strong, where it's good for everyone. And so it's good for us as well and good for the whole city. And so I kind of see this as a step in that direction. So I'm excited to hear more about it.
Hello, can you hear me okay? I know I sometimes have issues with my Zoom mic. Okay, awesome. So my name is Kelly. I'm a very new chamber, I would say member, but I'm not officially a member yet, but hopefully soon. But I just attended my first chamber meeting on Wednesday, the last arrive at 5, and it was awesome. And I'm looking forward to the next one. I work with Valpak, and I've been in the Western Mass area for about 5 years, and I just moved to Northampton this past summer. So it's been an amazing breach into the community, and I really loved the chamber event, and I'm looking forward to hopefully becoming a member and being able to attend everything you guys have to offer.
Okay, thanks
Awesome.
everyone. Go ahead, Jess.
Everybody can hear me, see me, all that kind of good stuff right now? Okay, awesome. Yell at me if something goes wrong. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Can you see it, guys?
Yes, but it's not in presentation mode. There
Should be
you go.
now. Okay,
Yep.
great. All right, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here. I'm going to read this slide out loud. I promise that I will not read every slide out loud, but I think it's really important that we talk about our mission and understand it, because we've thought about it, and it is a vehicle for all the decisions that we make and how we prioritize programming. Our mission is to be a catalyst for the collaboration and innovation to foster a thriving economy and community invigorated by diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like I said, this is the metric with which we start all conversations about programs, plans, policies that the chamber works within. Just to give you a little bit of background about who we are and what how we think about our work. We have about 500 members of the Greater Northampton Chamber of Commerce. That makes us the biggest chamber of commerce in Hampshire County. The vast majority, or the majority of our businesses, are small businesses. So small businesses, I think, is officially designated as businesses that have under 25 employees. Is that right, Vince?
I'm not sure whose designation that is, but it sounds good.
Maybe it's a Jess designation. But 49% of our businesses fall in the category of 1 to 5 employees. So we see that in Northampton, we have an entrepreneurial community. We don't have a huge corporate footprint. In fact, our biggest corporations are excuse me, actually not-for-profit organizations, like Smith, like ServiceNet, like Cooley Dickinson. But part of what makes this community so amazing is that there are so many people who had a passion for something and decided to make that passion their work. And maybe they came to their business with an MBA, but probably not. They probably came with a ton of expertise about the things that they do, and they're figuring out some of the other pieces that are necessary to have a successful business, like finance, like what is this QuickBook thing you tell me about, like figuring out how to do marketing or social media. And part of what we think makes the chamber special is that we're able to offer the expertise of the community to the community. And we'll talk more about the ways that we do that a little bit later on in the presentation. We do have a large percentage of not-for-profit organizations because they are a huge part of our, a huge industry sector in our community. It is quite unusual for chambers of commerce in general to have so many not-for-profit organizations participating in the chamber community. Currently, we have 90 businesses that participate in the Greater Northampton gift card program. It's, in my opinion, one of the best benefits of membership. And like Jillian said, is really has a lot of impact on economy and community. One of the things that the chamber is best known for is the ability to make connections within the community. And a lot of the times people think of those kinds of connections as, I might go to a networking event and I'll meet somebody who will buy something from me, or I will meet someone that I want to be a potential vendor for my business. And that is absolutely true. That happens all the time. However, that's just one kind of connection that we hear about all the time. So one example I'd just like to highlight for you is we recently started a program called Network, lowercase NET, uppercase WORK, where the chamber rounds up a group of volunteers to go and do a project for one of our not-for-profit organizations. We bring the group of people to get the project done through our social media and marketing tools and capabilities. We're able to highlight the mission and the work of that not-for-profit organization, putting a little spotlight on the important work that they do for our community. But we're also able to put a spotlight on the for-profit organizations, the human beings that show up to volunteer, the representatives, and also those organizations, those companies that are so generously saying, yes, take this day and go make an impact on our community. Go do work for one of the not-for-profit organizations that makes this place a great place to live and to do work. So at our first network, which happened in July of this year, we were at Manna Community Kitchen. We had about 20-ish volunteers. We created 150 meals. We served a bunch of meals to folks within the community, needy folks within the community. And then we had more time because we had such great volunteers, and we made pickles so that they could serve Cubano sandwiches the following week. While we were there, the publisher of Northampton Living, who is a member of our ambassador committee, came and volunteered. And he was so impressed with the work of Manna Community Kitchen that Manna is featured on the front page of their November issue, and making, helping Manna increase their impact, increase their visibility, increase their connections with the greater community. So we're linking our for-profit and our not-for-profit communities because we really believe that in order to have a healthy economy, you need to have a healthy community. And those two things are intrinsically and always linked. There are lots of other ways to connect through the chamber, but I want to be really mindful of it only taking up 20 minutes so we get to the questions part. So ask me about them the next time you see me. I'd be happy to tell you. Marketing and visibility is a huge part of our work. There are many ways that we have created an outreach program, a network where we can, oh, let me go back. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Sorry, we're having all kinds of technical difficulties. All right, we should be good. Where we create a footprint where we can share the good work and the news of our members and help direct business to those folks that are participating in the Greater Northampton Chamber community. The Community Connector newsletter currently has about 5,500 subscribers. It goes out weekly and has a pretty phenomenal open rate compared to other not-for-profit industry metrics. Folks can share news in the Community Connector. And there are also advertising opportunities, but it's a great way to keep track of things that are happening within the Greater Northampton community. Northamptonchamber.com has an investor directory. It's fabulous. Each investor has the ability to create a mini page, which is fabulous for SEO. And we also see over the past year, we've seen 10,000 plus directory searches. So just think about that for a second. In the era of Yelp and Google and all of these other mechanisms for finding businesses, people are still coming to the Greater Northampton Chamber of Commerce to find business resources, to who to patronize, who works within this community. And I really believe that has to do with the legitimacy and the understanding that businesses who are participating in our Chamber of Commerce are participating in the health of our community, which is pretty awesome. And honestly, I was totally blown away by that statistic, but absolutely delighted by it too. We have a really active social media presence. We regularly recognize and help promote our members through our social media. For those of you who are in the hospitality industries, we are also the seat. Vince is the executive director, not only for the chamber, but for the Hampshire County Regional Tourism Council, which is charged with marketing Hampshire County outside of Hampshire County. So bringing visitors into our community each and every day. And at the Chamber's office, which is also the visitor center for Northampton, we're regularly providing resources to visitors who come into the community. There's a tourism newsletter that's going out to almost 6,000 subscribers right now that grows, every month we see it grow and grow and grow. And we do destination marketing through ad campaigns, through our website, visit hampshirecounty.com, and through social media associated with that work. Vince, is there anything else you'd like to say about Visit Hampshire County before we go on to the next thing? We have another slide later, but just in terms of the vehicles.
Yeah, let's just continue.
Okay. The work that we do every day is to support our local economy, to make sure that it's viable, to make sure that it's thriving. This is just a few examples of some of the programs that we've done over the past 3 years. From things like having free COVID tests at the Northampton Chamber to give away to local businesses. We have them. We're going to get more. If you need more, come see us. I was talking to a new member the other day. She's a solopreneur, but her work has her going into people's homes, and she's often asked to test every day. And she's like, that can add up to be a pretty significant expense for my business. It's a major consideration. And I was like, well, come see us. We can give you a box. And she's like, that just paid for my entire membership right there. And that's, through a partnership with Representative Sabadosa's office, we're able to offer that. And so we encourage you, if you need them, come get them. If your neighbors need them, come get them. We've also done things like, through the pandemic, the 413 Takeout Dine Out campaign, where we were really encouraging the community to support our local restaurants, knowing that when restaurants thrive, other industry sectors benefit from that activity, energy, and resource. We also raised many thousands of dollars during the first month of the pandemic, so that we could give them back in small-ish grants to local businesses. And how many grants did we give away, Vince? You probably have that number at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, we gave away 88 grants covering, I think it was over $250,000. They were small micro grants, anywhere from $500 to $5,000.
But through the capacity of the chamber and the generosity of the community that we were able to rally, we were able to do some things to support our local small businesses. And that's just one example. Let's talk about the Northampton gift card program, because it's my favorite. This program has been going on for about 16 years now. Before it was a gift card, it was a gift certificate. We have rebranded it this year to be the Greater Northampton gift card. And the only requirement that a business has to have in order to participate is to be a member of the Greater Northampton Chamber of Commerce. We have seen, we saw $322,000 in gift cards sold in 2021. You can see some statistics about the annual redemptions, the average annual redemptions for restaurants and retail organizations. Note that those numbers exceed the average membership dues investment by tenfold, if not more. We had a restaurant who joined last year during our membership drive, and within the first 2 weeks after they joined the chamber and became a member of the gift card program, they had recouped their investment in the chamber through redemptions. So it's a great opportunity. It brings new people into your business. With each of the approximately 7,000 gift cards that we sell each year, there is a list that includes all of the places that you can go to redeem your gift card. So even when people aren't coming in to spend that gift card this time, you are getting the impact of that visibility. You are included on the website. So when people are researching, they're seeing your business, seeing your name, and that's incredibly impactful as well. The process for taking a gift card is actually pretty simple. I think there's, well, let me just run you through it. Then you can make your own decisions about how simple it is. So we sell gift cards in 3 different places: online, at the chamber, and in a kiosk on the 3rd floor of Thorns Market. When somebody comes in and spends a gift card, you take it through either an app on your phone or on a tablet, or there is a web interface, or you can have a swipe machine like you swipe a credit card. Generally, we recommend that people start with the app on their phone because it's the easiest way to go while you evaluate how many gift cards you're going to be processing. So you swipe it, you would say this person spent $100 at my establishment. That information we get a report on. The chamber deducts 4% for an administration fee, and there's a 15 cent per transaction charge from Swipe It, which is the technology behind the transaction. The 4% goes mostly towards credit card fees, but also is how we fund the operations and the marketing of the program. It's important to note this is not a fundraiser for the chamber in any way. It is something we do because we know those dollars stay local and in small local businesses. So once a month, we then send out a check. It happens during the first week of the month, and you can see what the amount would be. So for a $100 sale, you would get a check for $95.85. You can see where we are and the impact of, since the inception of this program, how many dollars we've kept in the local economy. Just think about it. If even half of these people had gone and bought an Amazon gift card, where all of that money would have gone. Whereas we know through the technology we chose and the way that we set up this program, these dollars stay here, benefiting our small local business economy. We can also see that redemptions are really significant. Of course, they went way down in 2020, but we are coming right back up. We've been so pleased at the growth in redemptions this year. People are spending those cards. This is a comparison of the past 4 years in gift card sales by month. I like to highlight that we see traditionally, we saw 2 significant bumps. One was around spring holidays and graduation, Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduations, and coach gifts in May and June. We see a ton of investment in gift cards at that time. We sell 50% of the gift cards during the month of December. Things are hopping at the chamber during the month of December because people utilize these. It's like the best Christmas present ever. But over the past 2 years, we've also seen a really significant bump because of the investment of Kiter builders in the gift card program, where we've done a Kiter card promotion. Essentially, that was customers had the ability, the community had the ability to spend $25, but get a $50 gift card. The Kiter family put that together because they saw that their business was not as impacted by the pandemic. Housing businesses, real estate were not as impacted as brick and mortar stores and restaurants, and they wanted to do something that would give back to the local community and support local business. And this program has been astonishingly successful. We sold out of Kiter cards in 3 business days this August. Destination marketing. How am I doing here? Okay, I need to talk faster. That we do a lot to attract visitors to the businesses of Greater Northampton. You can see several examples here. The thing I'd like to note is that we are currently in the process of producing the Visit Hampshire County Guide for 2023. That is, like I said, we are the seat of the Hampshire County Regional Tourism Council. The Regional Tourism Council includes the other chambers and other tourism related entities in Hampshire County, but we only feature businesses who are members of one of those chambers. And this gets published and distributed all over the Northeast. Vince, would you like to say anything else about this before we move on?
No, you're doing fine.
Okay. Like I said before, the vast majority of our members come to their work and their entrepreneurship through their passion for the thing that they do, whether it's creating food, whether it's graphic design, whether it's pottery, whatever it is. And we really look to harness and make available to our members the other kinds of knowledge and resources that will help their business start and stay strong. So whether that's information, connecting them with a consultant at the Massachusetts Small Business Development Center or Valley Community Development, or providing resources through our Link and Learn series, where we take experts from our community and for free, they share their expertise with other members of the community. We are providing these kinds of resources all of the time. The other thing that is really important to note is that Chambers of Commerce started because as a group, we can have more impact than individual businesses can when it comes to developing relationships with local, regional, city government, having our voices heard, bringing business concerns to the table for consideration and communication. We partner with our regional officials like Lindsay Sabadosa, like Joe Comerford, to bring information to the community, like information about paid sick leave during and the state's programs with that. During COVID, Vince sits on multiple entities like the EDC and the PVPC, making sure that Northampton businesses' insights, impacts are communicated and are part of the conversation. I'm going to read this slide again. Because this is our vision. And again, I think it's a really important part of the conversation. A prosperous community distinguished by creativity, inclusion, caring, and stewardship of place for the benefit of all. Again, this idea that the chamber is uniquely able to sit at a place where we can influence and impact, that the idea that one needs, in order to have a successful economy, one needs a successful community. And those two things are intrinsically linked and part of our work every day. I'm going to stop the share. And great. Awesome. Jillian, can I kick it back over to you to do the conversation, the good part of this? And thank you all so much for your patience and listening to me talk a lot.
Jess, you undermine yourself a little bit. You're really great at what you do. It's really wonderful to hear your excitement about what the chamber is doing. And every time I come to one of these, I learn something more that I didn't know before, which makes it always worth it to be here. So I think now we just want to take a little time for people who have questions and thoughts about, what the chamber is doing, what's going on with your business in general, that maybe you think the chamber can play a bigger role in helping you develop. So I don't know if there's anyone here following the presentation that wants to talk a little bit about kind of getting their business off the ground or what their business is doing right now and how that the chamber might be able to help uplift what you're doing. You know, the gift card system seems like a no-brainer, but thinking about implementing ways to redeem gift cards online, I think is probably a big one, especially for Isaac from Familiars. Because I'm not super certain. I've always ordered online from Familiars and picked up if there's any other avenue of ordering, which I can see might be a point of confusion of how to integrate the gift card numbers themselves to create a payment online. So I'd love to hear any thoughts on that, especially as we move towards more online, as we're online now, modes of doing things in the future.
Well, that's a great point, Jillian. And we're learning and still pivoting from how we have to do business. And one of the opportunities is to be able to take gift cards online. In fact, I'm not sure if any of our participating merchants can do that or have that capability right now. It requires a lot of systems interfaces that just currently do not exist between their current point of sale and our Swipe It gift card processor. But we're thinking about it, we're working on it, and in any day of the week at the chamber, we experience that shortfall as well, because when we order from any restaurant, that's something we often like to do as well, is use our Northampton gift card, but we have to resort to those other things like Visa and American Express and Discover. But you know, that's the option right now. But we're working toward that and seeing if we can explore someone typing in their gift card number to be able to allow merchants to accept that. But it's not an easy fix. It's a costly investment, and we just haven't figured it out yet.
Yes, and we went through a system changeover as well, and we had to do it with our gift card. So I might have some ideas on that front in terms of integrating an older system into a newer system. But we have found it at Roberto's, and when we were running Sylvester's, you know, our online system gave us the opportunity to say, have a pop-up that says, if you're using a Northampton gift card, please just call, place your order. We can take your gift card over the phone, which was something that was, you know, an easy lift for us, you know. So there are ways around it for right now, if that's something that is set up that way for businesses in general. But I do think we'll move in that direction. The chamber will catch up very quickly. I have no doubt.
Yeah, with your help, we will.
I have a couple questions about the gift card.
Yeah.
So I think one thing that is immediately a concern, just because of the model of business that I have, is we'll have a much lower average ticket than a traditional restaurant, right? So a restaurant's going to have something that's 100, 200, whatever as their average ticket. We're at a solid 15 right now. But that means I need to have I have to have a higher volume and a lot of people through. Have you had any feedback about processing that, like how people have dealt with that high volume with the gift card? Also, have you had any feedback about that processing rate, that 4% with those lower average tickets? Because that is higher than what our credit card processor is right now. And so for a lower average ticket, that 4% does seem a little bit unnerving to me. Have you had with the 50, well, the 15 is only if you use the Swipe It. But have you had any feedback about that for maybe like coffee shops that are selling $2-3 cups of coffee?
We do have several coffee shops that are, you know, similar to Familiars that are participating. I will tell you that one is relatively new that started a little over a year ago. And they were very surprised that with in a few months that they had recovered their investment in their dues fee. So no direct concerns. They had those same concerns going in, but with the additional advertising that you get, the additional, I won't say it's a traffic driver, but clearly if you're getting requests for the gift card program, is people go there because they're like, I got a gift card, Northampton gift card, so why not go to Familiars because they accept. This business owner told us that they didn't want to miss out by not having the gift card, Northampton gift card. But again, they had the same concern about the 4%. And the 4% breaks down like this. When people come to the chamber to buy the gift card, most use a credit card, or when they buy it online, they all use a credit card. So the chamber absorbs that 3% fee, and through all the marketing that we do, 30,000 investment a year in marketing, that's where the 4% comes. So it's not a direct, apples to apples comparison. So you're getting the advertising benefit that a Visa card won't be giving you. And you're also getting, the chamber is really absorbing our 3% fee. So that's where the 4% comes in. But I see your point, Isaac. And but from other coffee shops, we've not had that experience. In fact, I'm thinking of the two right downtown. There may be others, but Woodstar Cafe accepts the Northampton gift card, and as well as Cafe Balagan. And are there any others?
I think
that you can
Sharon.
think of?
Jake.
Sharon Thorns has always taken it, I think, or at least they used to.
Yes.
And he's had I think he's had a positive experience with it.
I would, Isaac, I know that when one of our, I don't know how okay it is for me to say who this is, so I'm not going to say it, but we had one of our coffee shops, a very busy coffee shop on the other end of town, who expressed all the same concerns. We've got to move people through quickly. It's a smaller order, and I don't want things to get backed up, and I'm concerned about like a cash flow thing as well. Like, how long does it take for us to get our payment from the chamber? I can also tell you that their investment in the gift card program has exponentially exceeded their dues investment. Like, in 1 month, their redemptions were 4 times what their dues investment was for the whole year. And they've been really pleased, and I'd be happy to connect you with this person offline, with how quickly we get payment out and how consistent that is, and how happy their customers are that they take the Northampton gift card. So I'd be happy to connect you with that business owner, but they had pretty much all the same concerns that you mentioned, and it took them a really long time to adopt. They went back and forth. They weren't sure if they wanted to do it. They were worried about training their staff, all of that kind of stuff that is probably, feeling like part of your hesitation. But I think that in conversation with this business owner who knows their business down to the percentages of pennies, you'd find great comfort in the decision making to participate in the gift card program.
Do you know how all of the, and maybe this is a conversation I could have with that person, but do you know what the tax reporting process is like? So I assume that when you are taking a transaction, you somehow still zero it out in your register, so you get the ticket and the transaction, then you get the money from the chamber at the end of or at the beginning of the month. Do you know what that process is like for them? And maybe Jillian, you can talk about this, and how you do the tax side of it all.
Sure. And we were kind of talking about this before everybody signed on in terms of reporting. You know, we use the QuickBooks system, but yes, Isaac, you're correct. You're right on point where we have, you know, a button in our POS system that just kind of zeroes that out. We track everything in our QuickBooks system, but when we do taxes, say meals tax, things like Northampton gift cards and our get kind of lumped in with cash. So we still, you know, pay out our meals tax and do those calculations correctly every month. They're just calculated as part of our cash sales now that Massachusetts has moved towards asking us to report on cash sales versus credit card sales. But really, it hasn't been such a heavy lift for us to do those calculations. And if you have questions or you want to connect, just you and I about how that all works and some of the things that we have done. I know we use Spot on now. I'm not sure what you guys use for a POS system, but we had to integrate some of our gift card numbers over, and we've done kind of various things to make it easier for our consumers to use things like that. So I'd be happy to chat with you about some of the things we've done to help integrate to like online ordering and all those different platforms, you know, with gift cards and how we've like outlined systems for our customers.
Great. Thank
Swipe
you.
It does also have a reporting aspect. So like you can very easily report on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis on how many gift cards have been used, like what's been redeemed through your system. So you can do that within the login information that we give you. Also, when Jenna, who is our manager of operations, sends out the checks, she also provides that information. So there is reporting that you can access through the Swipe It system. Any other questions, Isaac or Danny? I'm assuming Danny's there too.
Yeah, he's here. Not off the top of my head right now, but
Okay.
sure.
You know where to find me, right?
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that I might want you to partner me up with this other person you're referencing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll if it's okay with you, Jillian, I'll share your email and the other person with Isaac and Danny to touch base with, if that's okay.
Sure.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions, thoughts, want to follow up on any other parts of the presentation or ideas maybe that you have about things that would be meaningful to your business for networking or accessing the visitor community through the Regional Tourism Council? You've got our ears.
Yeah, you mentioned the guide that you're producing. I just want to find out, how do businesses get featured in that?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Great question. We, as just said in the presentation, are the we're the organization that is the Hampshire County Regional Tourism Council. That's part of the chamber, and we do an annual visitors guide, which is a directory of businesses in Hampshire County that we promote and support. And with the chamber's strategic plan that it adopted 3 years ago, we became this open organization where you don't have to own a business to participate in most aspects of the chamber. The only two investor perks that we retained is the gift card program and the visitor guide. So you do have to be an investor in one of the chambers to participate in the visitor guide. And great story I want to share. Familiars, Isaac, who is not an investor just yet in the chamber, but have been a wonderful tourism partner because Familiars has arguably the most iconic storefront in all of Massachusetts. And we have featured that. We did a photo shoot there several years ago, and we have featured that across the Commonwealth in our marketing and promotions of Massachusetts as well as Hampshire County. So one, thank you familiars to Isaac and Danny for allowing us to do that. And we are still getting requests for some of those photos through the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. And, you know, just it's an incredible photographic opportunity to really showcase Hampshire County and the uniqueness of Northampton. So anyone is a tourism partner, but to be featured to advertise in the guide, most businesses, not all, most still have to be investors in the chamber. But there are exceptions, like in the case of familiars. But the guide goes, there's a print version, 30,000 printed copies that are distributed up and down I-91 all the way into Grand Central Station. Our top destination origins are Boston, #1, followed by New York City, and then Providence, Rhode Island. So we're expanding the distribution into those areas, and then Hartford, New Haven, and then Albany, Schenectady, and Troy. And we're looking to go beyond that in markets like Philadelphia, Baltimore, and DC because of the Valley Flyer, the train service that goes from Greenfield all the way down to DC. So we're expanding the distribution, but it's about an 80-page guide right now. We're in the midst of designing and developing the one for 2023. So now's a good time to invest in the chamber and be featured in those listings. So great question. I know that was a long answer, but it's our single biggest project that the Hampshire County Tourism Council does.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Could I make one quick comment? I think this was touched on earlier, but I did want to remind folks, and I know this is recorded so other people can take a peek later on. But I did have a conversation with one of our downtown retail merchants last year as they considered joining the chamber. They had various questions on the gift card program. And one of their concerns was about whether or not they had to purchase additional equipment, if they needed like a separate machine to accept the gift card. And as a consumer, I had no idea. You know, when I'm at a restaurant, they take the card, right? And then they come back and it magically went through. And I just want to remind everybody, it is an app. It's super easy, that there isn't a clunky machine or anything. So if that bit takes a little burden of worry off of you, I do want to make sure that's understood and that we don't just assume that that part is known.
Great. Thank you, Jen. That's very true. There's 3 different ways you can accept it, but the easiest way and the way that we see most businesses adopting it currently is through an app on a tablet or on a phone. Any other questions? Awesome. Oh, Kelly, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I would love to follow up with you in the future if you want. I don't know if you have extra time to stay on after
Sure.
to like set up a meeting or something, but I'm definitely interested in learning more about the chamber and becoming a member.
Awesome. I can absolutely stay on, no problem. All right. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to meet with us today. One of the things that I just want to make sure everybody knows is that my role at the chamber is to connect with you and help you connect with others. So if there are resources that you need, if there are questions that you have about your business, I may not have the answers, but I sort of sit in this really unique and kind of awesome position of having a lot of connections within the community and having ideas about where we might be able to find you those answers. And I'm also like the queen of brainstorming. So if that's something you like to do, for goodness sakes, just like set up a meeting because I'm all about it. And thank you so much for being here, and feel free to reach out to me at any time. One last thought, We are in the middle of our Connect campaign, which is our membership drive. There are incentives for folks who join the chamber before December 1st. Most of the incentives have somewhere between $100 or a $200 value. So it makes it a really great time to think about investing. And for Danny and Isaac specifically, if you are thinking you'd like to participate in the gift card program, like I said, 50% of our sales, roughly 3,500 cards, happen in December. So in order to get you on the list, on the website, whatnot, before the big rush, we have a deadline of November 16th. I will get you those emails and make those connections, but just so you have that nugget in your brains as well.
Thank you. That's coming up. So thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll probably be over later this week for one of those butternut sandwiches. So
Great.
just look for me.
We'll be there.
Those are like the best thing ever. I like them almost as much as the iced tea lemonade with strawberries.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Thank you all so much, Kelly. I'll just stay on. If anybody else wants to stay on, please be our guest. Take care.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
thanks, everyone. We appreciate you joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This was such a great information session. I was taking
Awesome.
notes like a crazy person for my boss. I had a couple of questions.
Yeah.
First, I was wondering if there's any way you'd be able to send me the slides for this.
Yeah. Totally.
Awesome. And also, I missed the one on, it was what to expect when you're investing, just the business edition.
Yeah,
I was wondering if you'd be able to send me the recording and the slides for those as well.
for sure.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Because I just want to see that meeting for myself and then also share it with my boss
Yeah.
as well. Because I'm really trying to convince him to join, like have us join the chamber, because I just think it would be such a great opportunity. And
For sure.
he's definitely interested. I think we were confused a little bit on the pricing exactly. So I
Mhm.
was wondering if you could run through that with me quickly, like what the
Sure.
fees would be.
Sure. So our dues are based on the number of full-time equivalent employees. For
Okay.
a company like Valpak, which probably has employees nationwide, we would not be looking at like all of Massachusetts or all of the Northeast. We'd be looking at the people who are working within the Northampton region.
Okay.
So that would be for a business that is sole proprietorship, it would be $415. If we're looking at a business with 2 to 5 employees, that's $475. There's no audit process. So it's really like an honor system kind of thing. You know what is reasonable in terms of like who's here, who's working on it. But like I said, I'm not going to I'm not gonna come with a team of accountants to double check on this. It's really like what will make sense for your business.
Sure. So if because there's only 2 people who work in Western Mass, me and my partner Kyle, a business partner, not romantic partner, but that was probably implied. But so I think he is a part of the Springfield Chamber of Commerce, but if it were just me going to the chamber events and like working in the area, would that be the $475 then?
Well, if it's just you, I would say it's probably the $415 of a solopreneur. And then if you find, I would say, let's start with that, right?
Sure.
And then if you find that Kyle is also taking advantage of like Northampton Chamber programming, then we can revisit it next year.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I will let my boss know the range of $415 to $475 if that sounds good.
That sounds great.
And another thing I wanted to discuss was the possibility of hosting an event like Resonate did, or sponsoring an event for the future. I don't know if you have your 2023 months all set up.
We don't yet,
Okay.
but yes, absolutely, that would be a possibility. So each Arrive at 5 has either there's 3 co-sponsors or 1 solo sponsor. Resonate
Okay.
like the solo sponsor for that particular event. I am very hopeful that I will have the calendar of events by the end of November, just after Thanksgiving. So I don't have everything tidy to offer you quite yet, but yes,
Sure.
that's definitely a possibility. If you were the solo presenting sponsor for an Arrive at 5, it would be $1,000. If you were a co-sponsor, it would be $350. What that gets you is we, through our community connector newsletter and through social media, we do multiple rounds of advertising for each Arrive at 5. So you're included in that with a logo and link. There's the ability to do some like additional social media if that is your vibe and you'd like to like make a little video or whatever. That's definitely an opportunity. And then you get to have a marketing table at the event. And
Okay.
in terms of attendance at events, before COVID, I would have said we're regularly at 125. Then we came back and we were like hovering in the 80 to 90 range. And now we're bumping up towards 100 again. So I'm used to having something very solid to be able to say, but it's really a range right now. And I think a lot of it will depend on like the health of the community and how comfortable people feel being inside or outside and all that kind of good stuff. But that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a really reasonable price considering the exposure that they get. I mean, like the Resonate, like it was like awesome for people who normally like wouldn't, check out a shop like that. So
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah, sort of normalizing that in
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to present this to my boss because I want to get as involved as possible. I think the next event is the Snow Farm.
Yes.
one?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what's coming up next. And that should be so fun. It's like a different vibe around networking because it's a smaller group.
Sure.
And like you're doing an activity, and for each network event, it's totally different. This one will be, the last one we had was at ServiceNet's Prospect Meadow Farm, and we were literally doing farming work. So we're like ripping up tomato vines from the earth. And I ended up with like this gash on my nose because I bashed myself with a tomato stake. But we were like eating goats, and like it was like we got our steps in that day.
Yeah.
This should be a much more working at Snow Farm will be much more like retail and a much more genteel experience than throwing tomatoes for the goats.
Okay, good to know because I have a bit of a brown thumb. I would love to feed goats, but when it comes to plants, it is not my strong suit.
So, but yeah, that's going to be great. And then the next event after that is we're doing an Arrive at 5 at Cedar Chest in Thorns Market, which should be totally beautiful because Thorns is so gorgeous during the holiday season. But we're also at the beginning, so that's from 5 to 7. From 4 to 5, there's a new bar in the basement of Thorns called Tell Us in the Satellite Bar. Have you been there yet?
A few times.
Awesome. So we're having what we call a warm welcome, because a lot of the time Arrive at 5s can be kind of intimidating, right? Like even if you're super extroverted, walking into a group of 100 people you may or may not know can feel like yuck. So we're doing the warm welcome where we'll be like doing some like smaller group activities. It's like a warm up before the Arrive at 5, and that'll be at Tell Us. So it should be really, I'm very excited about it. And it's just, it's just super nice to like be able to, I mean, I get it. So I worked at the chamber between 2000 and 2005. My job was to create, manage, run Arrive at Fives. I was like the princess of Arrive at Fives back then. Now I'm like the queen because I'm old. But and then I left, and then I came back to the chamber in 2018. And in those 14 years, I'm just about as extroverted as they come. And it was like, I don't want to go. Like I went when we sponsored something. I knew it was a good idea to go, but I have little kids. And so like doing something to make it a bridge where it feels more approachable. Because like I said, I'm pretty extroverted, and I was like, yeah.
I completely know what you mean. I'm also very extroverted as well. I actually, I wanted to thank you again for how welcoming you were, because
Sure.
I was so nervous going in because I didn't even know how like chamber events were. Like a couple hours before it started, I was like calling my coworkers being like, what is this going to look like? What do I expect? And then my coworker was like giving me the advice of like, oh, people are going to be in groups, like go to the stragglers, like talk to them on the outside. And like, I felt like I was so fortunate where you introduced me to ambassadors immediately, and I was able to make connections, and then they introduced me to people, and then vice versa. And it was just like this awesome chain of meeting with cool people. And so I wanted to thank you for starting that chain, because I immediately was put at ease when you knew my name and you were like, you signed up for all the events.
So that's another thing that I mean, obviously, like get started, get acclimated, come to a few Arrive at Fives. But the ambassador committee so I really believe that the people who participate in the ambassador committee are often like you and I, right? Like they're like, okay, I know I need to do this. We got to go. And being an ambassador, their job is to welcome new members. So when you become a new member, you'll get an ambassador who will reach out to you, right? Ask you to have coffee, try to help like connect you with people. But their whole thing is being a resource, and in some ways having that kind of job at an event like an Arrive at Five. First of all, you get to meet a ton of new people because you're facilitating that, but it's also just it makes I personally find having a role at an event like that just a little bit easier to do the things that I know I need to do. And also, if you are the conduit to make someone who's new feel good and feel comfortable, they'll always remember you, right? Like, so maybe they aren't thinking about, advertising with Valpak right now. They're too new, or they don't have a marketing budget, or whatever it is. But that like sort of karmic thing I see play out all the time, because they're like, oh, this is like a go-to person. So ambassadors might be something you want to think about at some point in the future. You could come to a meeting, check it out whenever you're ready. Just let me know. It's not, it's not a necessity, but it is an opportunity.
I am ready for anything you're willing to throw. I love the event so much. I totally agree with you. Like the ambassadors helped me feel so comfortable, and I definitely will remember them. Like for instance, the ones that stick out are Ruth, who you introduced me to. Ruth, I love. I actually had a meeting with Jessie yesterday where she did a personal disc assessment for me, which was really awesome.
So cool.
It was so nice. And very as someone with a psychology degree, it was super interesting and very like applicable to like the workspace, but also just everyday life. So I really appreciated her time. And then I also like Amanda from Copycat. We like ended up getting drinks together yesterday for like 2.5 hours at Tunnel Bar. It was awesome.
So great. I'm so delighted to hear that. Amanda will be a great contact for you too. I think
I think we're going to try to work together with her possibly advertising in Valpak and me possibly getting business cards for my small business. Because
Awesome.
her business card, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but it is so cool.
Yeah, she's
It's awesome.
very creative. It was, so Amanda and I are working on a project. It's a grant for women business owners.
The Resilient
Yeah,
one.
the Resilient Project.
Yes.
So one of the original meetings, we had to, it was about the design thinking process and getting people comfortable with one another. And we had to design a notebook, like a magic notebook that would be meaningful to the person. And I just like brainstormed all over the place. And her ability, I was like, damn, you're good at your job, to like take these concepts that I was throwing at her and put it into something concrete and meaningful. I was like, look, whoa. So that's awesome. That's totally awesome.
Yeah. And I think that was why Ruth originally introduced me to Amanda. She was the one who like brought us together. But she was telling me about the Resilient Project, and I would definitely love to like become a part of that. Amanda was telling me you guys are in like the prep stages right now, but if there's anything I can do to like share information on social media or like just get the word out, I would love for you guys to like send me materials. Just, I mean, I don't have the biggest reach on social media, but you know, so hopefully some Northampton local people would be interested. Or
Awesome.
Amanda was telling me, you guys, she was like, if you know anyone with money, let me know. I guess you guys have to raise like 40,000 in 10 days.
Yeah. Yes, we do. But
Good
I
luck.
think it'll be crazy, but it will be well worth it in the long run, because I think it'll be really meaningful. We'll be able to touch people and empower some, some new businesses. So it'll be great. It'll be great.
Definitely.
So, awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so feel free to send me literally anything, even chamber wise. I'm always down to share and support or like volunteer in that sense. But yeah, it sounds amazing, and I'm looking forward to it getting up and running, because Amanda was telling me about her plans to have like monthly dinners and stuff like that, and like just the idea of like building a women community of like small entrepreneurs is so beautiful to me.
Yeah. And you know what, the other thing that's like really interesting about the idea of it's easy to put together a directory of businesses. So Jillian, who was leading the meeting today, she runs a pizza place. So you're like, well, what's her expertise? Pizza. But she also has a background in like political fundraising. She also has a ton of expertise about running payroll or managing, a small business's payroll. All of these kinds of things that these resources that, back in the day as a community, you would know about people, you'd, have a deeper understanding of their history or whatever, because you'd be, I don't know, like shelling peas or something together. and now everything's so busy, and the way we present ourselves on social media is scattered, right? But there are resources in the community to help support you and help you grow, and to make that just a little more transparent and approachable, I think will be so meaningful. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, we will absolutely welcome any and all assistance as we get this off the ground. It's, we're getting a little help through a grant, but it's definitely a grassroots effort.
For sure. No, I can imagine. And I did have one more question. Specifically in regards to like the benefits of becoming a member, because I think that's what my boss is most interested in. So I was taking some notes. So you guys said that there's a lot of like marketing involved, which I didn't realize. That seems like a big perk. Like let's see. Like the website Northampton Chamber itself, and I was taking a look at the investor directory. So each member gets their own landing page and like
Mhm.
thing like that? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So each member gets a landing page. You can populate it with keywords, images, movies, your social media, and it's awesome for SEO. But it also, like I said, there's still so many people that search our directory. I honestly, Kelly, I was like blown away. I was like, no way. Why aren't they? They're not looking at Yelp
Right.
or whatever. But people are still really, looking towards the Chamber of Commerce as a reputable source for information and for companies that are invested in the community.
Definitely. And you guys said that you guys run the what is it called, the Hampshire County like
The Regional
tourism?
Tourism Council. Yep.
Hampshire, and so that is located in the chamber.
Yeah, it's so we have a visitor center in the chamber, and the Regional Tourism Council. Vince is our executive director and the executive director of the Regional Tourism Council, and our marketing person, Jack, who you may have met at the Arrive at 5, is also the marketing manager for the Regional Tourism Council.
Okay, awesome. And so with that, with members also get like, do members get something along the lines of like the tourism council?
Yes and no. I would say that probably for Valpak, that connection would be more about reaching out to those potential and advertisers. It wouldn't, the Pioneer Valley Travel Guide or the Visit Hampshire County Travel Guide really features tourism related members. It's
Gotcha.
not every single member. But yeah, so it would be more, yes, that's there and there are ways that you could use it, but I wouldn't say there would be like a direct membership benefit there.
Sure. That makes total sense.
Mhm.
And another thing my boss wanted me to mention to you was sometimes we will do, like, especially with things that like the chambers that will
Yeah.
like help us, we will do like a sort of trade where we will offer like a free coupon in the blue envelope for you guys in exchange for like ad space and like a newsletter or something like that. But yeah, with the gift card thing coming up, I was definitely wanted to bring that up to you in case you were interested in doing some type of exchange.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. That would be Vincent Jack that would make that. But if you wanted to write something up about that, certainly, we'll be advertising the gift card program, and we might be able to do an exchange for like an ad in the Community Connector newsletter, which could be meaningful. So yeah, if you could write that up and send it to me, then I'll share it with Vince and Jack. But I think that going into the holiday season, that might be something that they want to think about. Or maybe if we can't get it together for the holiday season, maybe we could think about it for the Mother's Day grants piece of the puzzle.
December is also our biggest month as well. So yeah, I wanted to bring that up in case you guys are interested. And with the gift cards, I was a tiny bit confused on how consumers get them per se. Like I know they have kiosk and Thorns, but is it like is it a gift card to anyone that's participating?
It's a gift card that can be used at any one of right now 90 different merchants.
Okay.
So you can purchase them at the chamber. It's an actual card, like it's not like a digital thing. You can purchase the card in the kiosk or at the kiosk in the chamber, or you can go online and order it and we send it to you. We send you or the gift card recipient the actual card. And then when if they were to go into Roberto's and get a couple pizzas and they had, their bill was $60 and they had a $50 gift card, they would give Roberto's that and then $10 in cash or whatever it was. And then we send them a check for that amount in the first week of the month.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't realize, for some reason I thought they were individual gift cards that they would buy for each one, but that's so useful, like to have it be for everything.
Absolutely. It's awesome. Like it's, there are restaurants and retail stores and spas and, there's just a million different ways that you can spend it. So it's a really fun gift.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely thinking about purchasing one for like my boyfriend or something, because he's in Northampton, and just to have the freedom to use it anywhere is like the ideal gift card.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, I meant to mention another person I connected a lot with was Elena. I love her. Elena and Jacqueline, but especially Elena. She was such a sweetheart, and she lives on my street. I think I might have told you.
That's so great. Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
a funny coincidence.
She's really, she's been a member of the chamber for a couple of years now, but she was like really, so when I talk about like the ambassadors are people who often like to have a role at an event like that. She was, she was nervous about Arrive at Fives and like, would she take advantage of her chamber membership? She thought about it really carefully because she wanted to, make best use of it. She's a small business. It's a not insignificant investment. And she really thought about it very carefully and for a long time. And she's she's made such significant impacts and connections just by like the human being that she is. And I think, it's like, so one of the chair of our current ambassador committee is a gentleman by the name of Mark DJ. Mark is a real estate attorney. And
I think you introduced me to him first. And I can't remember the name of the woman that was with him. I don't know if you remember.
Don't remember.
Yeah, but definitely introduced me to him.
So Mark is, I call what Mark does karmic networking, because his whole goal is to connect people to meaningful resources for their business, right? Because when you're a real estate attorney, probably people are not going to need you every month. So you really count on like making that connection and having that impression of being a resource, being kind, being helpful, being knowledgeable. And I call him he's like the Clark Kent of networking, because he's so unassuming. He's not like this super like gregarious out there kind of person, but he is so effective in helping people to feel welcome and connecting with them. And Elena is just like that, like so sweet, so kind, really like connected with being helpful. And the idea that the chamber's a community, which is totally my, the chamber isn't me, it isn't Vince, it isn't our building. It's like a community of business people trying to support one another. And like Elena and Mark are very great examples of folks who really take that to heart.
Yeah, it definitely feels like such a community, and Elena is such a sweetheart. Like she when she won the like gift bag from the library, I was so happy she won, and I was like talking to her afterwards, and she insisted on giving me one of the like little like paperback, it's like a way to hold open the paperback, and it meant the world to me, because I was like, that's just so kind to win a raffle prize and just like, do you want this, and offering it to me and the person next to me, like just such a sweetheart. And her business, she's in media as well?
Yeah, she does like web design and like marketing consultation, sort of like planning and thought around that. So she'll be a great connection for you to have, as will Ruth. Ruth is, I don't know if she's really semi-retired, but she's not she's very focused on the Northampton Jazz Festival. She
Yes.
also has a marketing consultation business. And she's a great supporter of other folks in the marketing industry and helping people to make contacts. So she'll be a good person to revisit and connect with as well.
Yes.
Super knowledgeable and has volunteered everywhere in the community and knows like a million different people. So she's a great contact to have as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for meeting with me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I
Of
will
course.
definitely send it all over to my boss and let you know.
Awesome.
Um,
I'll send you a link with the link to join. I'll also send you the list of incentives, which will probably just be helpful because
Yes.
there's some pretty valuable ones. So it's like, well, it's $400, but it's you can also take advantage of this $200 thing. So
For
it just makes
sure.
it an easier yes.
Yeah,
It'll
that
make
would
make
would
your
be
job
great.
convincing your boss just that much easier.
Yes, definitely. And oh yes, if when you send me that, you could also send me the recording and slides from the
The other
investor
one.
meetings.
Yep.
And perhaps Vince and Jack's email so I can send them over the information for like an exchange for a free coupon in the
Awesome.
Valpak. That would be
That
great.
sounds great. All right. So nice connecting with you, Kelly,
Yes.
and we'll talk again soon.
Yes, see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.